Hey folks, Jonathan here. Okay, we're over here at the Bates engine. Just want to show you something. I'm kind of amazed, and I'll be more amazed come Monday, and I'm going to tell you why. So this bearing, this is a split Babbitt, not a pillar block bearing. A pillar block, I guess most of them's bearing has a bearing in it instead of the Babbitt, but it's called a split bearing. And this one, I would guess probably 400 pounds, maybe 500 pounds. It's pretty heavy. So this is 7 inches. As you can see, you know, it's not small at all. And I was missing this bearing for the Hamilton engine and was looking for one, and I actually found one. I found quite a few of them, but this may sound a little crazy, but so $4,000 to $5,000 to $6,000 was pretty common. And then I found one for, and this is not, I'm not lying, I'm going to actually post a picture of the ad, for $39,000. And the one I found for $39,000 was a link belt, and the difference in it really than a lot of the others, it's just got a canted cap on it, which really don't matter for what we're doing. $39,000. And you know, I don't know that y'all may not know this, but that Hamilton's not worth $39,000. You know, it's crazy that they would even ask that, but I'm assuming that's probably for when, you know, the factory bearing breaks down and they don't have a choice. They've got to do something really fast, and you know, they buy it, and you know, to keep the factory rolling, because they're making $39,000 you know, every 15 minutes or something. So but in my world, that's not even going to happen. So that would have financially ruined the steam engine, whatever you want to call it, collection or whatever. But anyway, so I found a surplus company, and I'm not going to say what they are yet, because Monday the bearing is coming in. So I don't want to jinx myself here and tell you good things about this company. But I bought a 340 pound bearing. Now what it's going to consist of is the same as the $39,000 bearing exactly. It actually has a link belt on it, and it's a split cap just like this with Babbitt. It looks new. They don't advertise it as new, but they got really good pictures up inside and everything of it. Really good company so far to deal with, if it's legit now. But it actually had a link belt sticker on it, so it's the same brand as the $39,000 one. The difference is neither one of them came with this base with the adjustments. Now I could get by with mounting without that, but I may build that part. You know, 3/4 plate on bottom. I've got some 2-inch square solid that could come up, and we could drill it and tap it, and we could just make it adjustable. It wouldn't be any issue whatsoever to do it, or a problem to do it, and we may do that. But finding the main bearing was going to be the problem, and I even considered 8-inch pipe, splitting it, you know, making it into a bearing, pouring the Babbitt. We're probably going to do that on the 5 1/4 bearing for the Erie anyway. But anyway, $120. And I'll say it again so you don't think I was wrong. $120, and really $119, but $120, or best offer. And of course I didn't make an offer. I figured I better go ahead and buy it while the buying was good. So a 340 pound bearing that lists one place for $39,000, and it's $120 at the surplus place. So $120, $119 and some change. And I put on there that I was going to have it picked up, because I have got a friend up in Pennsylvania that was heading to Ohio, and this was going to be in Euclid, Ohio. I think it was Euclid is the name of it, or how you pronounce it. But he was going to be there, be up close to there, so he was going to run by and pick it up, and then I'd get it, you know, probably April, something like that. But when they contacted me about the bearing and said wanted to know, you know, if I wanted to have it shipped or not, I said, well, give me a quote, and they quoted the shipping price at $200. And it was like, well, it was less than $200, and it was like $29 fee if you didn't have a dock. And I said, well, sure, you know, at $225, I'll be more than glad to pay that for shipping. And that brought my $120 burn, you know, up a little bit, you know, $300 and something, but that's okay. It's still not $39,000. So Monday, they actually, now they sent it to a trucking company. It's a legit trucking company. There's a hub here in Fayetteville, which is not far from me. And according to tracking, it was in Richmond yesterday, and it's actually at the hub today in Fayetteville. So I should see it Monday. They got it scheduled for delivery Monday. So if I get this 340-pound bearing for 120 bucks, that lists at 39,000 in one spot and like $6,000 in others, yeah, I would be absolutely amazed. And I'm assuming with it being a link belt, it may be, I don't know if they make bearings or if they just, it was for a piece of equipment, you know, a big drag line or something like that. But either way, 7-inch bearing. 340 pounds for 120 bucks. Anyway, that's our answer for our 7-inch bearing problem. If we're getting out for 300 something bucks, I'm just going to be tickled to death with it. After looking at the prices of the bearings, and I understand, you know, this stuff's crazy, but anything cast iron now, you know, cast iron used to be, you know, that was the cheap thing, and now cast iron is just, anything is expensive. Anything you buy that's cast iron, you know, it involves the pouring and then the machining. It's not just a blow mold or an injection mold like plastics. You know, things get expensive and they shouldn't. You know, they really shouldn't be. We should be still using cast. It's all recyclable. Plastic's not. Plastic bottles are a joke. Glass and aluminum's the way to go. I cannot figure out what our country's come to. You know, plastic is a petroleum product. All these people are complaining about, you know, using fossil fuels, and then everything they're building is made out of damn fossil fuels. So I don't know, makes no sense to me. I guess I'm just a, you know, an ignorant old country boy. So all right folks, looking over these pieces that I've got to make. This is actually for the crosshead side of the rod, and I've got to make exactly the same thing for the rod, same size on both ends. Same pin diameter on both ends, but the other end's got to be for the crank pin on the crankshaft. So I'm missing all this here. I got to looking at this. I was trying to figure out how they made this one round and then this one was totally square. I think I got it figured out. I think they made two at a time. They made two round ones and two square ones, square together, two round ones together, and then made the matching set. The reason I say that, one of the reasons, is because the oil hole drilled in the top is round on the round set and cut in a V on the other one. So that tells me that they were probably, you know, because they probably would have done them the same if it was made together. So I think that's what they have done, is they made a full circle, split it in half, and that was one half for two engines. Yeah, one half of each engine. And then probably the same thing on this. They made one, bored it, probably done that, all this work. If you look at it, you can see the little slots in it, probably all done on a shaper. I'm sure that was done on a shaper. And then split it, and that was, you know, two engines. So what we're going to do, since we're casting and making the parts, these bronze pieces and stuff from cast stuff that I make, the only thing you want is for it to be softer than the steel that it's running on, or the cast. In this case it's going to be steel, but you want it softer, but you want it hard enough it's not going to wear. So, you know, I think I've played enough with the mix that I can get something together with a lot of copper and keep it from being too soft. But so that's the plan, is or keep it from being too hard. That's my hardest part, is to keep it from being too hard. It's soft, getting it soft is the problem. But anyway, so what we'll make is one full bushing, and I'll split it, and I'll just save the other one, and then we'll make one full one of a square. So more time, but it's pretty much, to me, I mean, it wouldn't be impossible, but it would be hard to try to make that as a full piece board in the center. That circle on this side would be hard to do because you can't do it on a lathe with that, so that's why I think it was made twice, but that's what we're going to do. This I'm sure was heated and bent, you know, almost like a blacksmith done it. And then let me see, that's the crazy thing, you know, these guys was good at doing this stuff. I'm just not sure what to use. Probably again a shaper and maybe a key slot cutter or something, because this is squared off completely. You know, you're not going to get that with an end mill. Of course, you know, I'm sure they didn't use end mills. So what I'll probably do is mill it in there with an end mill, and then go back with a hand file or something and take care of the problem of the corners. And then of course make these wedges, which is pretty easy. Just making them the right thickness. So, but that's what we're missing. This is 3/4 thick. So get some heat in it, find out what size this is, bend it around it, you know, get it back straight, hammer it, do what we need to do. I don't think it would be an issue there. And like I said, these can be made, no problem. Just, you know, stuff's not hard to do, it's time consuming. That's the only problem with it. This will be really quick and easy on the lathe if I can get a good chunk poured, you know, good piece made to do it out of. I'm not going to buy this stuff because, you know, even this material right here, nowadays, I mean, I wouldn't even want to know. $200 or $300 worth of material. It's just, it's not right. So, we're not going to do that. Alright, so that's got to be made for it. We've got to make a bearing for it. Let me see, the other half, like this, and this is just a solid piece. And like I said, I know a lot of people will probably say I should re-pour all these babbits, but I really don't have any intentions to, just because of the way that we're going to run it, just here and there and every once in a while. So this is solid. That's the only bad part. The only thing I've got is 2-inch, and I think that's about 2.5. Let me check it. We'll use my precision 2-foot caliper. Not much precision, but a little bit. Enough to make it happy. 2.5. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 3/4. So 2 3/4. So I'll have to find a piece for that. And then what we'll do is we'll set it up and we'll make it the right size, but make it straight. And then we'll set up a fly cutter in a well, I'm going to say that, let me see, 5 1/4. We'll have to do the math to make sure, but the thickness. But I'm going to guess 4 3/4. Nope, I'm sorry, wrong way. So that's a 1/2 inch, 1/4 1/4. So we need to go, and it don't have to be exactly perfect, but it's got to be close. And so what we'll do on this is this radius on this thing will be a 5 3/4. Be a 5 3/4 radius. So we'll adjust the boring bar to 5 3/4. And we'll get this shape, and then once we pour babbit on it, I'll dam it, pour the babbit, and bring the babbit up flat, and then we'll take and go with a 5 1/4 radius and cut the right radius for this, and that way we'll have it. I'm liking the governor. I did find a pulley for it, ordered it, same size as 7-inch. Let me see, it's a little bit narrower. We can live with that. It has got a square hole 5/8. This is 7/8. So we'll have to bore the hole, but it's in really good shape. And its curved spoken, it looks more like that one. It's got 4, I think it's got 5 or 6 spokes on it. So it's going to be really nice. It's going to make it match. And this is, like I said, this is an early governor. There's probably numbers on this governor, and there's a guy that's got he's got all the information on these things. So if I could find the serial number on this governor, which I don't quite remember where they put it, he might be able to tell me what year it was made and all. But I'm thinking that this is really, really early. The way this is made, and this is it called a pinnacle? I don't know what it's called. This hoodoo at the top sort of looks old, looks the part. Oil cap. Yeah, this is early, I'm sure. But anyway, that's what's going on no matter what. All right, let me see what we can get figured out here. Here's another piece we got to fix. This hooks to the eccentric, which we don't have. That's probably going to be the last part, but this is neat. Look at this, 2494. 2494. So we got serial numbers all over this thing that match. Hard to believe, huh? I bet the parts I'm making gonna have, well, I could just stamp them on it. That's what I'll do. We'll fool everybody. So this is bent. We're gonna have to straighten it out. That shouldn't be an issue there. We'll heat it up and we'll get that straightened out. And then I've got an eccentric that'll work on it. It's for another engine that I don't have together, and I may borrow it. I shouldn't, because I just need to make one, or find one. I've advertised looking for one because I've actually got two engines that's got the same one, and it don't make any sense to me why they're so common that size, but I can't find one, of course. But I've had no luck finding anything used for steam engines whatsoever when it comes to a particular part. You know, you'll find governors and stuff like that, but when it comes to a particular part, I'll no longer need this, but it won't go to scrap. So, all right, let me see what we can get figured out. All right, folks, here it is, 7-inch Babbitt, brand new. I wasn't sure whether it was new, you know, a takeout or an NOS, but I mean, it really didn't matter because I could re-pour the Babbitt. But besides a couple little scratches in here from a forklift, you could tell they put the fork in there, but I mean, it didn't hurt it. It's, must be some pretty hard Babbitt, or kind of hard, but no problem there. It probably needs some grooves cut in it anyway. It's got top grooves in it for the oil. Where are they at? Right there. Because the oil holes are up here. But it wouldn't hurt to have some X's down in the bottom for the oil to flow through. So we may do a little bit of that. Well, right here's I want to show you the shims. So to get the size right, put in, take out both sides. Came with them. Thank goodness. And brand new link belt. Now, I'm sure they've been sitting on this thing for a long time. Link belt bearing. This is the same brand as the one for the $39,000, which I'm going to put a post on there. And this is not something that I made. This is actually a advertisement. You can look it up on Google for a 7-inch split bearing. That's what they were asking. And I've seen a lot of them for, you know, $6,000–7,000. This one actually had a price tag from 2016 of $899. So I don't know whether it was through this company or a different company, but someone had been trying to sell this for a long time. So they've got one of these left, and I thought about buying it. The thing about it is these don't go bad. They might go missing, but they don't go bad. So if the Babbitt wears out, you just re-pour the Babbitt. So I did a little measuring. I thought, well, I'll grab the other one and I'll use it for our other bearing. But that's a 5 1/4 shaft instead of a 7, and it's not going to look right at all. It's going to really look pretty darn goofy, to be honest with you. So I just decided that I wasn't going to get the other one. So there's another one on there for 120 bucks if someone needs a 7-inch bearing. I'm sure that nobody needs a 7-inch bearing, but you know, for that kind of money, I don't know. It's tempting to buy, but I'm not going to do it. So anyway, here's the company. HDR Industrial Surplus, HDRinc.com. Oop, there it is. So HDRinc.com. You know, I'm not sponsored or anything by them, but they've really done me good on this. So anyway, we got it, and that's the important part. So check that company out. They've got milling machines for $1,000 bucks, $1,100 bucks. I mean, I don't know condition. You know, they buy a lot. It looks like they do a lot of buyouts. It's the only place I've ever seen a rotary table for sale, 15-inch rotary table for $200 bucks. So be a good company to deal with. They got a lot of expensive machines, but like a buddy told me, I had put him on it, and he said, yeah, there's a lot of machines there for $10,000, but they're, you know, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 machines. So that's just the way it is. But more than tickled with this. Glad to get it. So we're going to at least be able to, I'm going to build a plate that goes under it and has the bolts that push it and both ways, and make it look like, you know, it's supposed to have the adjustment on it, which I believe the ones that with Hamilton, I've got a picture of the original now out of a catalog, so we'll know for sure whether it's how far it's off. I mean, besides being candid, it probably looks just about exactly like it. I'd love to have found one that was straight, but what do? You know, I'm not gonna complain. I can send it back, I guess, get my money back. All right, folks, this piece actually was on top of the Hamilton engine on this valve, which is, you know, the main valve coming in. And I think, pretty sure that this is a homemade condenser. And I think what they've done, this pipe goes into the top, and this pipe runs all the way down, but the center pipe here only runs part of the way up. And what happens is, I'm assuming, is any water that was to come in and stay on the walls or to the outside and come down around this sleeve would come down and come out, and you would drain it out of there, and it would eventually fill this up. So I think it was actually catching the water before it got to the engine instead of taking it, you know, after. So it was getting condensate. I don't know whether you'd call it a condenser or not, because it's not changing steam into it's not changing the steam into water. It's just catching the water that's in it. So maybe a water trap or something, but pretty sure that's how that worked. I looked up in the hole and I can see that I believe that it's open to this up here, and that pipe, like I said, actually goes all the way up and stops a little ways up. So anyway, that's the deal with that. And we'll probably clean it up and paint it and put it back on. I mean, it's kind of crude, but I mean, it's well, you know, well enough made that it, you know, it won't hurt a thing. And they've got it welded up good, and it's thick enough that it's, you know, I'm not scared of it, you know, popping or anything. So I'm not sure what they had a small one here for. They got a big inlet there. They got probably another water drain here, and then this may have been for oil. Coming from a hydrostatic lubricator, probably coming from a mechanical lubricator. So we may clean this stuff up. I mean, if we decide to use it, we will. If not, we'll just use the flange. At least we have a flange, right? So, all right, I got most of the parts picked up for the Erie City Iron Works engine. Of course, like I said, we pressure washed the other day on it. Yesterday would have been a good day too, but it was kind of cold. But do have the pulley coming for this. Have it here soon. Let me see. We got a pallet of parts here, and we've got to get to work on them, making a few pieces, and then cleaning up the rest. And bolts. Got them in a jug here. I've got some cleaner I'm going to pour in there. Some. It's supposed to be environmentally friendly cleaner. So I don't know how that could be, but usually that means it don't work, but we're going to put it in there anyway and fill it up, and that way we don't have to worry about the water getting in. It's a mixture that it won't rust them or anything like that. But, so got to get the piston up here and get figured out what we're going to do on the rod. We'll find a rod and go ahead and make one. I guess since steam engine videos only get about half the views, I got to make twice as many videos. So didn't get much work done on this one, but I mean, just going over everything. Like I said, we've got our bearing. We saved ourselves $38,000 something, and I'm going to put that in the heading. And I'm not doing it. I guess I'll do it for clickbait, just for the heck of it. The only bad thing about doing, if you stick something in a heading like that, like the fail, I'll give you a couple examples. The fail that I put in on the foundation when we poured it, when it busted out, and I put in the heading something about it, and I got a lot of views on it. The problem is people want to see major destruction. They would probably prefer to see me get killed. So if I don't get killed, then they're going to probably thumbs down it. So, and the same way with the boiler. You know, when I done the boiler, I said, you know, first fire, will it blow up? And that was enough to get a bunch of views. But I mean, I'm not doing it for views. I'm doing it just to do it. I mean, I wasn't even considering it being clickbait, but I guess it was clickbait to a lot of people. And you know, I just I sit back and think it's funny because they, you know, talking crap, or at least thumbs down, and because you know, they didn't get to see the destruction, the explosion, the stuff fly apart, and people get hurt that they want to see, I guess. But I don't know. They'll just have to stick with the boring stuff. All right, appreciate everybody watching, and until next time, bye.